promotes individual freedoms and liberties. He promotes the right to choose your own medicine, your own free type of government that we've been moving away from. He talks about ending the Federal Reserve, which has brought this country down all the way from 1913 till now. We're pretty much going to celebrate 100 years of Federal Reserve, which took the U.S. dollar and destroyed it. Once they learn, about the Federal Reserve and, things that the Federal Reserve does, once they start getting more involved in what about the Federal Reserve has done to our country, how we've been taken off the gold standards in 1971 from Richard Nixon, they start to understand that ending the Federal Reserve would probably be a good thing. The only one I've heard talk about it in the beginning was Ron Paul. Now I'm starting to hear other people parrot his foreign policy. His foreign policy is to negotiate with all the other countries. Work with them as people, not as enemies. Everybody's not our enemy. It seems like the more people we invade, the more enemies we make exponentially. We invade one country, we make enemies with 2 and 4. And it keeps growing, and we're not safer today because we invaded countries. We're actually less safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Because I think we needed to do a definite change in this country, bring this country back to what it was, because we're not addressing the problems, we're just making more problems, and I think he's our solution for that. His view on foreign policy, I know a lot of people call him isolationist, but I don't think that he's really an isolationist, because we keep sticking our noses in places where we don't really need to be. We keep going on all these phony, made-up places, wars, this, that, and nothing ever comes out of it. All that ends up happening is we make money, we send our foreign aid to foreign countries. Right now I just read on the news that Israel's using our foreign aid to teach their soldiers roll sushi. Okay, so why is my tax dollars going there when we can't even feed ourselves in this country? It needs to be eliminated. That's a private bank. It's not for us, by us. It doesn't have our best interests in mind. It's nothing but a bunch of crony bureaucrats in Washington, and that's just another way that means that they can just keep printing money to keep whatever they want going without, who cares what the average person in Manchester, New Hampshire is poor or doesn't have a job. It's just more the Federal Reserve is just to keep funding their own private interest project.
Sure.
I think there's a fair amount of unemployment. I don't think that all the statistics are really reported correctly, because I think once people fall off unemployment because they ran out of their 99+ weeks, that they're not counted anymore. But that doesn't change the fact that they haven't got a job. And I know a lot of people, my friends, that have been unemployed for almost the 99 weeks, and it's not like they'll take any job at this point, but there's no jobs out there. People don't want to hire if they keep losing money being taxed, and it's a scary situation. We got to do something here, and the answer is definitely not sending people our business to foreign countries, but if we keep playing this balance of trade game and keep doing what we're doing here, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I think he would go a lot further, I think, regardless. I'm sticking with him because of my conviction, but I think he would go a lot further if the media would stop and give him an accurate shake of what's going on. It's like he doesn't exist. It's really ironic when you read the newspaper and they'll be like, in first place is Mitt Romney, in third place is Newt Gingrich, but they don't even mention second, who's Ron Paul. I mean, you can keep hiding him. They don't want him in there. That's the bottom line, because he is going to change. He's not for what Washington stands for now, and their gravy train of free handouts is going to end under a presidency that would be run by him. He's actually done really well in fundraising, to be honest with you. As far as his fundraising is for his campaign, he does it all on just donations, not corporate donations like most candidates get. Bankers, if you look on Obama's list from 2008, Goldman Sachs, but Goldman Sachs was also backing McCain, so they're paying both ways. So, I mean, I don't think that's been a problem. Most of his money, it's like I said, he doesn't take it from corporations, it's all individuals, and a lot of it's from people in the service. So I think that says a lot when your whole campaign, you have the second largest amount of money, is backed by just local people.
And why here in New Hampshire you are taking this so seriously?
Because I think it's serious. I'm 39 years old, and it's pretty scary the direction in this country that it's gone into, and I don't want to have any part of, it's to the point where you don't want to have any part of it. It doesn't even matter. Your vote doesn't count. What you think doesn't count. Our congressmen and senators aren't doing what they promised us they would do. They only have their own interests, and that's what bothers me, because I see this country's turning very socialist very quick. The next step's communism, and with all these new laws they keep, the NDAA and the SOPA law, it just keeps piling on us. We're free people.
The Federal Reserve is a system that was put in place by some of the largest banks in the world in order to control a monetary supply. It is well known and documented that when you control a monetary supply, you control the people, you control business, you control voting, you control anything you want. So when you control the money supply, you can also add something called a tax. Inflation is a tax, and when you tax something, it's pretty much guaranteed income if you have people that are dumb enough to pay it. Or threaten them to pay it. So unfortunately, we're being threatened to pay it. So basically, since 1913, when you have a company that's put in place with the word federal in it, people that don't know any better think it's actually something you at one time or your ancestors voted for. It's not the case. And if you have the understanding of saying that the money that I make deserves and belongs in my pocket, with some reservations, because when you're talking about the state and its rights and the responsibilities of the state and what they need to do, yeah, there needs to be some money to do some extra things, build roads, maybe help with schooling. But when you take the Federal Reserve and you break it down, and you go with the belief that they feel that for the past 5,000 years, gold was money up until Ben Bernanke stated it on television. Gold is money. Gold cannot be controlled. It can't be overly mined. It can't be destroyed. So when you take that and back it against a dollar, you have a controlled system of non-inflation.
Now, without the Federal Reserve, how the banking system will be working?
Oh, well, the way it did for probably about 200 years prior. To know exactly how it worked for the past 200 years, you have the government which backs the dollar with gold, silver, or some sort of precious metal, the way they've done for thousands of years, and it actually takes the dollar and makes it worth something when you trade it in. Because a dollar is fiat, it's paper. Paper is truly not worth anything. In the old days, they thought a sheep was worth something if you wanted to buy a coat that somebody made, right? So you trade the sheep for the goat, for the coat. But then they smartened up and said, well, we need to make this more transparent and easier to manage, and let's put it against something that can be nor created nor destroyed.